Hello. So it's week 21. So I think last weigh-in that I did, I'd got to £28 weight loss, or was it 27? Oh God, I can't remember now because I started weighing myself on other days as well, like an idiot. So I've lost track a little bit. Anyway, I'm down to now a £31 weight loss. So that's a little bit crazy. Yeah, but I've still got this little like voice in the back of my head going, nah, it's not that much though, is it? And I don't know why I'm doing that, because £31 is it's a lot, isn't it? So why am I doing that? It's just so weird. I don't understand why I'm doing that. And I need to stop it because it is a massive achievement. But yeah, just it's going well on this 12.5, but I'm still feeling that hunger at random times. It's just really bizarre. I think on my last video on week 20, I was talking about having a lot of hunger even when I'd just eaten a couple of hours before. But I think I was at the tail end of my period at that point, and that's probably why I'd only had a small weight loss as well. And yeah, I just kind of I think I was still in that hungry phase. And it's weird because when I am on my period, because of the amount of pain I'm in with the endometriosis, my appetite can really plummet, and I could go all day and not eat a thing, and while I'm not on the injections, and not be bothered by it. But then other times my hunger levels could be absolutely soaring at any point. So I think the injection was still battling with that kind of thing to do with the hormone changes. Anyway, I'm out of that now. And like I say, I'm up to a £31 loss. The hunger, I'm still feeling the hunger, but it's a little bit more controlled. It feels a bit more stable. So that's good. The main thing that I'm noticing is I'm only able to eat a very small amount of food at each meal. So all the time that I'm eating, when I'm having a meal, as soon as I start eating, the first few mouthfuls, I'm thinking, God, I'm getting full. And it's so weird because I don't think I've ever experienced this to this level on any of the other doses. So it's very dramatic. We went out for some food the other day, and I'll pop a picture in here. Jason actually told me to take a picture of it because he was like, "Well, take a picture for your videos." So I did, and it just shows it. The picture shows how little I was able to eat. So before I'd had these little, I thought I'll get some like picky dishes so I can just pick a little bit of each. And you know, it won't be too wasteful, and I'll be able to like have a bit of everything. So we shared some nachos beforehand. Tried not to eat too many of them because I didn't want to fill up, so only had a few. And then my main course came, and it was like these 3 what they call small plates. So I had them, and I could hardly eat a thing out of them. I felt so bad. In fact, they put it in a box for me to take home, and yeah, so that was Sunday, and I just couldn't eat for almost the rest of the day. I think I can't even remember what we did for tea because we went out for lunch, and yeah, I could hardly eat a thing when we went out for that meal. I felt really bad. So yeah, it's just weird. So I'm literally, I mean, I was sat there today just eating some chicken balls in the car for my lunch, and I was thinking, how many calories do I eat in a day now? Or how many calories would I be able to eat in a day on these injections? And you're probably talking realistically, like to kind of the highest level, I would say between 800 and 1,000 calories of my normal foods, that are normal go-to foods. And that's probably been really, really generous. So, my calorie deficit every day is going to be huge, and I'm trying to get myself into the habit of tracking what I am eating, just so I can build a picture of that. And I think it'd be useful to add to the videos as well, really. But yeah, it's quite shocking when I'm having a meal. I'm just like, ugh. The only time that I would say is different is in the morning. So when I'm eating my breakfast, I'm quite hungry then. So I can like I have these little pots that I make up with tiny bit of muesli in the bottom, bit of milk, bit of Greek yogurt, and then I do like a fruit mixture. I think I mentioned it before, and that's I struggle to get through all of that, and I make it the smallest portion that I can. Um, so yeah, so it's a massive difference on these injections in terms of what I'm able to eat in a meal, um, which isn't bad. It's just quite surprising. No way I would have ordered all those 3 small plates if I'd known to expect this kind of effect from it. So yeah, it's good. Definitely getting my money's worth out of it. um, but I was just thinking about Christmas Day, and I'm going to be a bit sad because well, what I was thinking of doing was just getting like like one of the side plates and just having a tiny, because I like all the little bits. I like every part of the Christmas dinner, so I couldn't like pick out certain parts and just have that. So I'm just thinking I'll have like a dessert spoon of mash, and do you know what I mean? A little tiny bit of everything to make up like a very, very small meal, and just do it like that. First world problems, eh? But yeah, just never even thought about the fact that Christmas is coming up, and yeah, I mean, a lot of it is about the food, isn't it? Which is not good, but a lot of it is, unfortunately. That's just the way Christmas is, isn't it, for everyone? So yeah, it's weird, and going back to the fact that I do circulate in Girl World on YouTube quite heavily. I'm also in a Facebook group that's kind of provides updates on what's happening with the girls. And one of the people in the group had put a post up, and they said, in terms of Amber, her life is food, and she gains so much emotional input from food, whether that's kind of comfort or to kind of celebrate a good thing happening, or it covers the range of emotions that she has, food. And I think she lasted, I can't even remember how long she lasted. She was on Ozempic for a while, and somebody said, it would make sense for her to not last long on Ozempic, because when you start taking these injections, whatever you're on, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, whatever, food stops playing such a big role in your life. And there's a lot of things attached to food that we do and we feel and we think, and you just don't realize it until it's not there. So yeah, I think things like occasions are kind of going to be very different when I'm on these injections. When I'm not on them, I'm hoping that these kind of lessons that I'm learning along the way are going to stick, and there's just there's no way that at this stage I would go back to being the way that I was. It just wouldn't happen, and unless something horrific happened and I was, I don't know. You can't guarantee that, can you? But while I'm in complete control of my own health and everything is stable and normal-ish, yeah, it just wouldn't happen. But yeah, what that person was saying in the group about Amber just not having that fulfillment and all those kind of different emotional inputs from the food, it was just quite interesting, and it's highly likely that it is one of the reasons why she didn't carry on taking it, because it does just strip away kind of any involvement that food has in your life. It just becomes kind of a background thing. It's odd. It's really odd. It becomes a lot less of a big thing, And when people talk about the food noise, I know it's a big saying on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. Well, I think I have a TikTok account. I had to uninstall it because I was wasting my life. I was literally lying there for 3 hours at a time just scrolling. So I just had to ban myself from it. But I know that food noise is a big saying on there, and I do understand it. I get it, because there were certain points where, well, certain points now. There was a lot of the time I was either thinking about food because I was hungry but I didn't want to eat, because then I'd feel guilty about eating, and then there were other times where I'd be craving the shit because my hormones were all over the shop, and yeah, there was always some kind of thought about food for one reason or another, good or bad. Mostly bad. so yeah, I'm just being really conscious and kind of aware continually of how my kind of relationship with food is changing, and I'm making sure that I'm understanding that actually we don't need generally we don't need that much food to function. And a lot of the food that I was eating, not a lot of it, but some of the food I was eating was definitely more kind of emotional. And I'm kind of thinking back now to that stupid health coach session that I had, where she was all being all happy clappy and talking about mindfulness and stuff. And I get it. I do. I understand where she was coming from in terms of, the emotional side of eating and that kind of thing. But my main issue wasn't all to do with that. It was actually a very small element of the problem that I was facing, and mine was more to do with the hormone side of things. That's where I was struggling, and then that would send me into that awful kind of cycle of failing putting weight back on, feeling like I'm failing even further. Then the kind of emotional eating might slip in there at some points. And yeah, so I do I do understand, that there was an element of logic that was there, but it just wasn't applicable to me at that time in any way whatsoever. But yeah, so definitely getting my money's worth out of the injection this time. The hunger, I'm just, I am going to feel hungry, and I need to deal with that, and it's just going to happen, and I need to kind of stop being disappointed about feeling hungry, because that's a really screwed up way to be, isn't it? So yeah, I'm just focused on what I can control, which is what I'm putting in my mouth. And it's extremely easy to do that while I'm on the injection, and I'm extremely fortunate to be able to do that, So that's what I'm focusing on now. Just trying to make sure that what I am eating is decent food. So obviously I have very limited opportunities to eat now and to get food in my body. So what I am eating, it's important that that food is of decent quality. So yeah, I've started ordering a little well, it's not little actually, it's quite big. I get a fruit and veg box delivered from Berry Market every week, and so that's good, because it's kind of encouraging me to kind of use all that food up and make that the kind of the center of whatever I'm making. Because I absolutely hate throwing food away. So yeah, I'm working really hard to kind of use that up and center everything that I'm doing food wise around that fruit and veg box. It's great. It's like 25 quid a week, so it's probably a lot less than I would spend in like Aldi or Asda on the same amount of stuff, so that's good. So yeah, it's going all right, and like I say, £31 weight loss is not bad at all, and I'm definitely seeing it in my face. If you look at week 1 and then you look at now, there's definitely a difference. And it's actually, I think, because it's happened that quickly, I'm doing my makeup in the morning, and I'm like, it's like doing it on a different face, because I was doing my makeup for a much bigger face and a much different shape of face as well. So yeah, it's very weird. But I was doing some hospital work today, and I was walking around my hospital site, and I used to absolutely dread walking up to my first unit, because I always go to the unit that's furthest away on the site, because there's only one way in and one way out, obviously, because it's a secure hospital. And I used to dread that walk from reception up to my first unit, and now I could have run it today. It's just really weird. So yeah, so that is week 21. That was a lot. But yeah, I'll do another weigh-in on Friday, and then let you know how week 22 is going. So yeah, I might do another update for this video. But where are we now? We're actually on Wednesday now. So this week has been a struggle. As soon as we get to this as soon as the clocks change, I turn into a different person. So I don't want to get out of bed. I can't function properly. I feel like shit all the time. I feel like I'm constantly getting a cold or some kind of throat thing. I just feel horrendous. As soon as the clocks change, that's it. So yeah, this is the first update for this week that I'm doing, because I've just not been able to get one in any other time. I've just felt so rough and so done in by the end of the day. I think I need some time off work, to be honest, but that's another story. So yeah, I might do another update to this video, but otherwise I will update you for week 22. Okay, bye.